again. Welcome to Salon 3. This is part 2. In case you see the outfit still the same. But this one, Audrey, I'm still with Audrey. I want us to take a different angle.
Okay.
So the part 1, we talked a lot about yourself, about generation. And then this conversation, I want us to talk about life in general.
Okay. That's very broad.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm going to be very...
We'll get there.
So we'll get there. And the reason I want to talk about life is because you actually told me that you love life.
I do.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? People always tell me when I post, because I post a lot on Instagram, especially on my story, and they're like, "Hey, Audrey, you find joy in such little things." The other day, I'll give you an example. The other day, I was getting my house keys. So I live in Canada. And I was grabbing my house keys, and then I posted. I said, "Guys, I have house keys," and people were just like, "What's like? What does that matter?"
Yeah.
And I remember saying, "I've never had house keys."
Yeah.
Like growing up, I didn't have keys of my own for the house, and then when I moved, I lived in apartments where I didn't need keys. I needed like codes and stuff. And I said, I always thought it was so cool when people had keychains and they were cool, and you'd shake it and you're walking around and you have keys. And I said, this is so exciting because I remember a time when I was really, really young and I used to think it was so cool when people had house keys. Some people would hear that and tell you it's so odd. Why are you so excited about that? But it's the little thing. And the reason why I say I love life is because every single thing that we do, every single thing that happens is an answer to something. Or it's a realization of one dream we had.
Yeah.
Because every single day, even being a 3-year-old, there's some things that they're looking up to. There's probably something that they admire. It could be a 2-year-old that is using a spoon and sees you using a fork and they want to use a fork. And so when they get to the age of 5 or 6 or whatever they use a fork, that's exciting because there's a time where they wanted to use a fork. So it's the little things like that. And having joy and finding joy in life is really a choice. It's something that you have to do proactively because there's so many reasons not to find joy. Like there's so many things that will come to play.
Yeah.
But I think when you take advantage of all the little things and just be really excited and find joy in it and realize that everything is an answer or realization of some sort, it just brings so much joy. So that's what I mean. Even now when I talk about it, I smile because there's so many things. And so that's what I mean. I think a lot of people dread on the sad parts of life and the complicated parts of life. But
yeah, I mean, I hear you, right? That's like the lemon and lemonade, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's we live in a very complicated world.
Very pessimistic as well.
And if you look at it in a sense of being grateful, there's so much we could be grateful for. But also if you look at it in a sense of, I don't want to call it an ungratefulness, but if you look at sense of fulfillment, there's a lot that would make you depressed because you don't have. After all, as people, we don't have everything we want. So when you're talking about finding little joy, so that means you are choosing to look things in the positive side. And you're choosing to be grateful. What puts you down?
What puts me down? The environments that I'm in and the people, which is also why I'm very specific on who I'm around. Because as much as I could find joy in the little things and I could proactively choose joy, people also have such a heavy influence on you. The environment that you're in has such a heavy influence on you. Saying that it doesn't matter is lying to yourself. It is going to shift how you feel. It's going to shift your emotions. And so even when you think of friendships, I'm very careful of the friendships that I have. I have a lot of acquaintances. Like I know a lot of people. But when I say like friends and how much I spend a lot of time, who I spend a lot of time with, then I'm really picky with that because if I feel like your energy is off, you're always mad about something, you're always sad about something, you're always complaining about something, naturally it's going to shift my energy. It doesn't make space for me to just be happy if you're always mad about something. There are people you meet and they're so pessimistic. There's nothing that you could say that could be good. Everything you say, I've been around people who you say something or you'll be really excited about something and just be like, and it's just they're already so negative towards anything that you say. And it's just like, that ruins it. And so I will say that's what brings me down.
And how do you come up? So like you're down, and you want to build yourself up. And the reason I'm asking this to you, by the way, so you understand where I'm coming from, it's because, again, people say the younger generation is a depressed generation.
Yeah.
And I want people to hear from you that even when I'm happy, I do get moments. And then this is how I deal with it.
I walk out. Nice. People ask, like, how do you deal with it? I think there's a lot of people who are stuck in this culture of people pleasing.
Yeah.
You know it's not doing good for you, but you're staying in the situation. Walk out. Why do you have to stay? Now, there is situations where you can't walk out. So there's, let's say, like if it's family, or if it's like, there's certain environments. Let's say it's work and you desperately need the money. And there's just certain environments where you can't necessarily walk out. Yeah. But I think the biggest thing that has really, really helped me is finding time to do something I really love. Yeah. Or just finding time for myself. Yeah. Some people overdo that, and they're just, every day is just my time. Yeah. Sometimes you overdo it. Yeah. But even if you just get early in the morning, let's just say, people see it on my Instagram. I love waking up in the morning and making myself some breakfast and making my plate look very pretty because I love to cook. So knowing that I can make time to cook, knowing that in the morning, before anything else, before work, before anything, even if it means I have to wake up earlier, I get to wake up, I get to have a long shower because I love self-care, and I get to make my beautiful breakfast and enjoy it. You'd be surprised what that couple minutes of doing something that you genuinely love could shift your perspective. So that way, as you enter the day, even if you're about to face this environment that's extremely toxic, at least you got to spend that time. Some people, it's reading a book before they go to bed. Some people, it's talking to their loved ones at least once a day, once a week. Like, everyone has something that they genuinely love, right? Yeah. And so I think creating space for that allows you to bounce back.
Yeah. So there is one quote I once read on the internet that honestly I do not necessarily agree with. I actually do not agree with, but I want to bring this here because you might come out that way, and I don't want people to hear that you are coming out that way because I know that's not who you are. Yeah. Sometimes with our generation, or with the blessings we have, sometimes you talk about things and then it will come out as
oh, for sure.
Right? So you're talking about long shower. Yeah. You're talking about reading books, but how many kids that actually have the electricity to read books? Or how many kids has yeah. And it's not really that. I think it's just you were born and you find yourself in that situation. Yeah. And people are in different situations. Yeah. Because you're really too much into people and understand people. Yeah. At your age. Yeah. What is a general advice that you would tell someone to not necessarily look forward for something fancy or anything in that sense, but really that can give them joy? Yeah. Or something they can be looking forward for.
Yeah. And I will say, and I've had that before. I've had people just be like, oh, it's rich kid behavior. And to be honest, I'll tell you that people can only give examples that they can relate to. That could be the examples that I could give, and someone else could give you different examples of what they find joy in. And as I say that, I don't know, the long showers and the reading books, it doesn't mean that whoever is listening has to do that. Exactly. It's just from a place of, that's just the examples of what I know has worked for the people that are in my circles, right? But when I think of the idea of luxury and people just not even finding joy, they're looking for joy in very expensive things and all these things. A lot of times that they can't even afford. All these things, they come and go. Yeah. That's just my biggest thing. All these things come and go. You're not necessarily gonna have them forever. Sure. There's nothing that an object can. There's no void that an object can completely fill. Yeah. I've heard people on social media say, oh yeah, but I'd rather cry in like a bougie car than like cry on, as I'm walking 10 kilometers or whatever. But really, I think it's just all that people talk about. Yeah. There's so much that as human beings, we could find in just even conversations with people. I always say it, I love having conversations with people.
Yeah.
Having conversations with people. And what that does for you is when the time comes when you can't afford the big things, you still have the joy. But if you attach it to every single materialistic thing you can think of, there comes a time where you can't afford that. And then that's how you fall into the depression. Or when you can't work towards it, or when there's hope with no hope, is when then it starts to really affect you mentally.
Yeah.
That's how all these like mental health issues could then start to build from a place of I can't afford what I want, and what I want is what gives me joy. Therefore, I can't afford joy.
Yeah.
But really, there's so many things in life to just be happy. Like there's so many things that you could just live life. And also that's another thing. You could go your whole life working towards buying the most expensive things, and you think that's where you're going to find the most joy, and you don't even make it there.
Yeah, I mean, this one thing again in that sense as well, which is I always tell people is that there is no Gahinda meter that exists.
Yeah,
there is no such
exactly.
thing that measure the pain. Pain is pain, right?
Yeah.
And we need to be able to just respect someone's pain.
Yeah.
So my example I usually tell people that, which may come out as a harsh example, is a kid in Somalia today that is dying with the hunger. Their pain is equal to a kid somewhere in the US that's been grounded to use a phone.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because they told off someone.
Yeah.
But if you try to measure the pain they have, again, there's no pain meter.
It's
you
subjective.
May realize that they're all paining.
Yeah.
So what is the most important is just to respect everyone's pain, regardless of the level of life where they are, etc.
Yeah.
Although for me that comes with an element. I can ask you because again we are talking about the younger generation. In as much as I believe in that, and then I believe that everyone should be listened and heard to their pain regardless. But I also come to things where people say the new generation is ungrateful.
Yeah.
And I don't think so, by the way. I think they are vocal. They can just vocalize or communicate their feelings, which, and then that sounds ungrateful. And you are on the mission to change the world, right? You are the mission to inspire more people, young people. How would you advise one to vocal their feelings but not sound ungrateful?
Find the balance of saying what is good.
What is that balance?
Now, I don't think I could say I've mastered it. I don't think I know if I've gotten it to the T.
Yeah.
But I will say, even with my own social media, there are days you wake up and people tell you, Audrey's a really positive person. And I have a smile on my face. I'm really excited. And there are also days where I wake up and I have so many rants. I'm like, guys, I'm so exhausted. And there's this that's going wrong, and there's this that's going wrong. But I've created a space where I can speak on both.
Yeah.
The reason why they say that this generation can be extremely ungrateful is because it seems like there's a lot more rants than joys.
Yeah.
People think that they can only use social media to come and complain.
Yep.
People think that in every conversation, you can only complain. Spend the time talking about what is good as well. Because in the process, it also allows you to be more positive as a whole, as a person.
Yep.
But if you think it's not worth speaking on, you think that what is good is known, but you should only speak on what is bad because that's what needs to be changed, that's why you lose the plot completely.
Yeah.
And so the balance, I can't tell you that I know the balance exactly or that I've mastered it, but I will say I think I am making a difference by creating a space where I can speak on both what is good and what I'm struggling with, or what is positive and what just feels really like I'm, really feels negative in that season of my life or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think we need to we're the most vocal generation, but we're vocal about very specific things.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I've noticed is people only speak on what other people are speaking on.
Yeah.
So if people are ranting about this specific sector, the generation wants to rant about that specific sector. Very little people on social media are just speaking from a positive place.
Yeah.
And so you rarely see that from others because others are really just copying. And so I wish we had more people showing up, talking about what they're impressed by, what they find joy in, what makes them smile, so that we can have that balance, which is also why people talk about how social media can be extremely depressing.
Yeah.
Because you go on there and it's just one bad thing after another bad thing, after another rant, after another. It's just when can we go back to just, when do we actually get to have conversation of what is going good? What is happening that is actually working for us? Get to appreciate not only the systems that are working, not only the policies that are working, but the people that are making them happen.
Yeah.
Not from just a place of I'm just worshiping or praising a person.
Yeah.
But actually pinpoint what is working. What are they doing right? Get to honor people. I think we've lost the art of honoring.
Yeah.
People don't honor people anymore.
Yeah.
You look at someone, they're in a position where they've done a lot. But they've also made mistakes, which is human.
Yep.
But you want to spend so much time on the mistakes that you forget that they've done a lot of great things. Or even just the system as a whole. There's been a lot of good that has come from it. Honoring is also listing that.
Yep.
Don't just pinpoint, especially because you haven't been in that position. You haven't created that system yourself. You haven't been in that person's position. You probably wouldn't have done half the things that they've done if you're in that position. But from the outside, it's so much easier to just say all the wrong things that are happening and completely forget to just spend some time appreciating what is working.
Okay.
I think, I don't know the balance, but
it's
there, maybe.
Yeah. I understand what you mean. It's really, it's a matter of a balance. And usually the balance comes from looking at the both perspective.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been asking people nowadays use the creative language of shift the lens.
Oh, yes.
Just if you are shooting in this, you're looking at things in one way. Can you try to shift the lens and then look the opposite, right? Or if you're having front and back camera, can you do both to see what you see in both sides?
Yeah.
And then create an informed decision.
Oh, for sure. I have something to say about that.
Yes.
Because at what part do you think it's heavily influenced by algorithms? So how can people shift a lens if what they're seeing is only catered to how they believe or how they view life? Because
the thing is, if we go on social media, everything on social media is heavily influenced by algorithms. That's what you're saying. But we are people before social media.
Yeah.
I'm a human.
Yeah.
Right. I have a heart. I have a brain. I have a gut, etc. So I process things, right?
Holistically.
So I think everything has to be looked at with that lens. Of this is what I'm seeing. Okay. Right? And this is how I feel. Yeah. Right? And this is the fact check I'm doing. Because of course, if you like to look at certain topics, that's what you would see. So sometimes it depends on speaking on social media, sometimes depending on the moment I am on, or the people I'm talking to,
exactly.
Sometimes I realize that my social media changed. And now I'm grateful, especially with Instagram, that you can actually reset again. So like I find myself every 2 to 3 months resetting my Instagram because I feel like it has already been heavily influenced by the moment I've been in the last 3 months. Yeah. And I feel like if I stay like this, I would lie to myself that this is the person I am and this is not the person I am. That's the content I was consuming. Yeah. So the baseline needs to reset. Yeah. And we should not just reset social media, we should reset ourselves. Yeah. So it's again a matter of re-evaluating yourself. It's what we discussed the other time as well on holding yourself accountable. Yes. And understand that what you want today is not what you'll be wanting tomorrow. Exactly. And this is also why, speaking of that, do you know these things people do of personality test? Yes. I like to do those tests. Same. And it changes. Yeah. Because you are human, you're supposed to change. Exactly. You're not supposed to stay. Yes. No, you're right. It really does. Especially depending on like the season of your life that what you've been consuming. It changes. And I think that's another thing. I wish more people spent more time really getting to understand who they are people, because then it allows you not to easily be influenced or shifted by what you're consuming or what you're seeing. Yeah. But I don't think a lot of people get to spend time getting to know who they are as people. Yeah. And some people think it's a lot of work. Yeah. Some people don't know where to start, because that's where I've had the most people like sit, where it's too much work. Where do I start? What do I do? Because even people who are preaching the whole idea of like self-discovery journey and all these things, they don't really give a step-by-step guide. They don't help people get there. And so it just seems like you're talking to someone, and then it's just like, no, say for me, where do I start, you know? Exactly. So it can feel very draining, but I think it's, All right. My 2 last questions, because we need to close this. Yeah. So I am starting a mission to hold people accountable.
Okay.
Even when we change, good or bad ways. But again, my last question I'll be asking everyone in 2026 in my podcast is, if someone look back this conversation 5 years from today, 10 years from today, what should we hold you accountable for?
You should hold me accountable for the fact that I've been determined to create a space where I speak on both perspectives of life.
Yeah.
The biggest chunk of what I speak on in general is so I can also showcase my journey.
Sure.
And that journeys, in order for them to be authentic, they have to look all types of ways. Every single day, there's the good, the bad, the ugly, the in-between.
Yeah.
And so I'd hope that I haven't gotten to a point where I only want to show one side of life. Yeah. That I want to convince people that there's only the good or that there is only the negative. I'd hope that in the next 5-10 years, people are able to look back and think to themselves, oh no, she's still that way. Sure. She's still real and she's still authentic and she's still transparent about the realities of life. Yeah. And that as much as she's an extremely positive person, she also shows us that life is not always glitz and glamour. And so I'd hope that that's what you can hold me accountable on, how I show up. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Audrey. This has been really a pleasure.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think when you listen to this, when you watch this, you pick one or two, three things. I personally really be able to learn a lot. And yeah, as we supposed to end again, remember to subscribe, like, but most importantly, this is a conversation channel. It's a conversation platform. I would really appreciate to hear your feedback. It sounds easier. In my day-to-day, I'm always on the other side of the camera. So it's easier for me to comment and say things. But now I'm on the other side again. On this side, I mean. So any feedback, input will be welcomed. And then thank you very much. See you next time.